Mystery of stuff. One river treasures. After draining rivers in Paris and London, the following treasures were found. 20 safes full of money, guns and automatic rifles, wallets, jewelry, and cameras, several bikes and motorbikes, working Second World War hand grenades. It just so happens that, because of tourists, criminals, and adrenaline chasers, rivers in big cities are full of stuff weary practically walking over it. Du Canal Saint-Martin. At the beginning of the year 2016, the Canal Saint-Martin is on unemployment. Unemployment is actually a bed dry of the channel. It is a ritual of the 10th district. Every 10 or 15 years, the Canal Saint-Martin is emptied of its water for a complete scrub. For 3 months, this symbolic axis of Paris, festive and family life, will be put to sleep, to wake up dashing in the spring. It is an opportunity for the curious to come and see the show, and for photographers of all kinds to hunt down the unusual photo. January 4, 2016, a cleanup of the Canal Saint-Martin operation began. Within days, the 90,000 cubic meters of water, the equivalent of 36 Olympic swimming pools, were evacuated in a few days. The water flowed naturally up to the Seine. Operation will last 3 months. His goal is to repair the locks and clean funds. Indeed, the channel requires, for its good market, regular maintenance operations. The last took place during the winter of 2001, 14 years ago. It's a feat for Jean-François Roche, responsible of the channels for wine gauge of Paris. Channels are on average maintained every 8 years, he says. The operation is necessary as parts of locks show signs of wear and breakdowns have occurred in recent years. Paris, spring for the Saint-Martin Canal cleaning. A cleaning operation is always rich in discoveries. The last oil change was allowed to find some unusual objects: bicycles, carts, buggies, computers, washing machines. A worker had even got hold of 2 shells of 75mm from the First World War. Many cars also plunge into the canal, but this year, it's unlikely. 56 cars was found at the 1998 unemployment. But they annoy the boats and withdrew as explained to the channel service. This channel is an artificial structure, and all the artificial works where the water circulates properly every 15 years make a big operation of maintenance. Celia originally, assistant to environment and the channels of the mayor of Paris, owner of this site of €9.5 million. The traffic is interrupted and sections of the docks are closed to the boardwalk. The more visible for the Parisians will be cleaning and the dredging of the diversion bays. These sections between 2 locks, which should start at the weekend, says Julien Guido, head of operations. Tractors will be sunk to the bottom and waste will be evacuated by truck to be brought to reprocessing sites. The canal was drained between the 2nd lock, called Lock at La Villette, and the 8th, said the Temple Lock. The 2 kilometers flowing underground under the boulevard Richard Lenoir and the place of the Bastille remain in waters. Impacts of the site for local residents, pedestrians and cyclists. The canal and the locks will be isolated by laid flush with the walls of quayside gates. Pedestrian paths on the banks will be kept and secure during the duration of the construction site, except some areas which will be punctually neutralized to allow loading of trucks that lead the vases. The trails will remain open during the duration of the project. The site may occasionally produce some moderate noise. Trucks and construction machinery will be on the channel, mainly during the period of devasage. It is not planned to work at night. This stage of devasage involved in cold weather, the olfactory nuisances should be almost zero. The steps of the chantier for January, a dam waterproof steel upstream side of Basin Villette and downstream side arch of the temple has been set up, followed by a partial drainage of the canal and the Eclisses 5-7 January, fishing to save the fish that are released by M&T or downstream of the channel. Once the fish is caught, the total emptying of the canal and its locks was made. From 8 January to early April, recovered waste at the bottom of the channel will be evacuated, the devasage made. Then will come the repair and cleaning of the canal and locks, before full rehabilitation and reopening on April 4th. And fish? They made the wall. The Canal Saint-Martin is a major traffic artery for wild fauna and flora. This blue frame is an essential asset for Paris to strengthen under the biodiversity plan. Ensure. That is why, on the occasion of the unemployment of the canal operation, many fish that populate are the object of attention. In order to protect the important fish fauna of the Canal Saint-Martin, the fish move the time of work. Cod, bleak, pike, roach, tench, carp, eel, zander, studs, barbel, poles, can are immediately released upstream and downstream the canal at the Rillette Basin. At the end of the work, the channel will be given water and they will return there naturally. The so-called sin of backup is organized before the complete emptying of the channel, in order to collect all of the fish without hurting them or put them in danger. The very framed technique requires a clearance. For the Canal Saint-Martin, 3 days of work and 10 people, of Society Aquabio, is required for this operation. Inside the airlock of the lock of the Villette upstream channel, armed with nets, fishermen stalk in the 40 centimeters of water that remains the last misguided who did not follow the path taken by thousands of their peers left downstream from the beginning of the draining operation, to the basin of the Arsenal and the Seine. The fish of the channel is done with the assistance of the Federation for Fishing and the Protection of the Aquatic Environment FPMAID Paris and the nearby Crown. It will conduct a census of the species and diagnosis of the health status of the fish. About 4.5 tons of fish should be caught on the occasion of this unemployment. And the other hosts of the channel?